Yeah, sure, no issues. I'm just recording the session for Anuj reference. He's not available, so
Yeah, yeah, no
yeah.
problem.
And join out the చెప్పండి. Join కదా. Savaji, you're saying something? Your voice is too low, actually.
Sorry?
You're saying something, your voice is too low, so we are unable to hear.
No, 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 I'm not saying something. I am, the Satya is correcting.
Acha. మీరు జాయిన్ అవ్వడం అవసరం లేదండి ఇక్కడ నుంచి చూద్దాం ఇద్దరం అందులో తను జాయిన్ అయ్యాడా అని అడుగుతున్నా సత్య గ్రూప్ లో పెట్టారా వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్ లో పెడితే మీరు పని చేస్తున్నట్లు తెలుస్తుంది పర్సనల్ గా పెడితే మీరు పని చేయట్లేదు అనుకుంటారు యా హాయ్ సత్య Satya, shall we start now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So let me just brief you. Bala Govinda is also from our team. Anuj is not available today. So I just want to take Zoho invoices ka KT and slowly Bala Govinda will learn complete Zoho. For as of now today, let us take him through invoices creation, like recurring invoices and normal invoices, how they have to create. And then let's say suppose a new client got added in this month, how he has to add that client and create the invoice for them. And the third point would be editing of the invoice that we sorted out somehow. So that is least priority, wherein first two cases are important. Okay.
So Satya, let's keep the training session in following steps. First, we will train on how to create general invoice, how to generally create the invoice. Then we will train um, how to establish a retainer invoice. Then we will train how to edit the general invoice and the retainer invoice. Okay, and then to send or to fix the issues if you get any. Okay, okay, you can start now. So here it is. On the dashboard of the Zoho, in the sales column, there is a
Mm-hmm.
section invoices.
Okay.
Section you have to, if you want to raise, a normal invoice, not a recurring, then you have to click on new, create a new invoice. Okay.
Mm.
From here, you have to select the customer name, and if it is not there, then you have to create a new customer from here. Okay,
Mm.
just like this. And you have to type the name and all the things, GST treatment, and after all the things that are done, you have to click on the save button.
Mm.
So just take for an example that help in download.
Okay. So all the details are
You have
mandatory.
to select the customer name, and if there is any PO number, then you have to write it here. That's the PO number,
Mm.
and here it is the invoice date. And
Mm.
if you have any terms, then you can select by this. That the invoice will be paid after 30 days. Then the due date will be after 30 days. Mm, And here you have to type the description of the invoice. Simply, you can copy and paste it.
Okay.
Then, then in the quantity column, you have to press the count number. If it is one, then just write
One.
here one.
Okay.
And in the rate, you have to type the amount.
Mm. So
Suppose
this
it
amount
is
is without
40,000.
GST, right?
Yeah, without GST.
Okay.
And GST will be automatically triggered if it is if there is GST number, proper GST number, and it is in the regular scheme. Then
Mm-hmm.
GST will automatically trigger. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is the method. And once you have done, then you have to click the save and send button.
Okay.
Okay. Just for an example, here save and send button.
Do we need to add some email ID before sending or?
No, the email IDs that will be that you want to send will be displayed here where it is written email to.
Okay.
So in this case, for the customer, whichever we have chosen, for that particular customer, there is no email ID added in
Mm-hmm.
Zoho. So in
Okay.
this case, there is no email ID reflecting here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is this ICICI Easy Pay something? Do I need to tick mark, unmark them or?
Yes. So okay. So EasyPay is EasyPay is a solution to get is a link for the payment for
Mm-hmm.
directed for the invoice. But right now, none of our customer is using the ICI Pay link to make the payment.
Mm-hmm. So we can unmark it.
You can unmark, but we follow up a process of marking it.
Acha. So,
Because we have already anyway we have linked our ICI bank with the payment portal of Zoho.
acha.
Say first thing. This is the first thing. Um, Sometimes it's like we do not want to send this to the customer,
Hmm.
right? And we want the instruction for us is to send you
Hmm.
that create an invoice and send it to Sravya.
Hmm.
So in that case, we'll be save as draft
Acha.
and we'll be saving it as draft. Save as draft. Okay. But let us try. This is okay. Satya, do one thing. Make the invoice amount 1 rupee, just a nominal amount, so that it does not impact our yeah. So okay, let me start from the beginning. Explain once more. So once we have chosen the customer,
Hmm.
we make sure that the billing address, GST number, and everything is correct.
Hmm.
Which is once feeded does not changes if nothing comes up. Place of supply will automatically come as per the GST number.
Okay.
Invoice number is auto generated. Order
Okay.
number means the PO number. Invoice date is the one we have to keep.
Hmm.
You can leave salesperson and subject column.
Hmm.
Then item details is the important thing. You have to choose, or you can directly copy paste from the checklist that you fill in, right?
Hmm. Hmm. This is the
quantity,
description.
correct.
Okay.
Quantity, yeah. You want to say something?
Okay, okay, got it.
Quantity column is generally one, but it is important in case of doctor's count invoice,
GMB invoices. Okay.
right? Rate is generally the one which whatever we want to choose. In case of doctor's count, it is different, and in case of general, we choose the whole GST, whole invoice amount excluding GST.
Okay.
Now, GST is automatically calculated, and the invoice total is automatically calculated. Now, uh, rest is fine. ICI you can tick. We can keep the process same. Do not tick on I have received the payment. Okay. Now let's choose some other customer, Satya. I want to show the email IDs to her. Now scroll down. See, these are the email IDs that were added with Manipal, that are linked to Manipal. Now, whomsoever you want to send this particular invoice, you can tick on that and save and send.
Okay.
So we have added your email ID even because many times we are asked to send your to you and to the mayank. Right now, let's say we do not want to send this invoice directly from the Zoho, and we just want to extend the PDF of the final invoice. So we will save it as draft. Save it as draft, Satya. One more thing here. SAC of your invoice is 998599.
Okay.
We have to put in and add account also. Satya, account head.
So SCSE has to be added manually every time we generate invoice, or that will be auto correct.
So okay. So it's like this. Um, Normally, we can set the SAC of our firm of the invoices 998599. But the challenge is the description or the item description in our invoices is not standard. You getting my point?
Yeah, description is not standard. It will change invoice by invoice.
Right. Right. So we have to link the description with the whenever we want to fix this SAC. So because it is not standard, because it is not fixed, so we have to put SAC every time manually. We have to make an invoice. Okay. Another thing is save the invoice now. Save as draft. Now we have two options. Either we want to send it, or we do not want to send it. If we want to send it, then we have an option to send the invoice, send email. Okay. And if we do not want to send it and keep it as PDF only in the books and want to download the PDF itself, so we have an option to mark it as sent. Scroll up. Here is the option to mark as sent. Okay. And once you mark it as sent, you can this the status of this invoice will change from draft to normal invoice.
Normal invoice, okay. But this is only in the case of internal invoicing. Let's say you're sending invoice only to me, then we have to do the drafting of the invoice.
Yeah, right. Okay. And now let's work on how to send the invoice. Now send invoice. Send invoice. Send mail. Correct. Now this will automatically choose the selected email ID, and the CC'd ones will automatically will remain same for all the invoices unless you change it manually.
Acha, okay.
And for the main receiver, you have to choose the email IDs whichever you want to send. It's Sravya, it's Bakru, it's Madhu, or whatever it was.
Got it.
Okay, and if you do not find the email ID, you can just type in here.
Okay.
Okay. Now scroll down, Satya. It will show the invoice amount. It will show the invoice date, due date, and pay now option because we clicked on that ICI. And then it will once you will click on send, it will be sent from Zoho. Now cancel it. Now Satya cancel it and delete this invoice. Now I'm telling you how to delete this invoice. It's very simple. Just click on the checkbox and more and delete. Okay. Before moving to the recurring invoices, before moving into the recurring invoices, I want to show you how to duplicate an invoice. Let's say you ask me, Sagar, make same invoice for the same customer but different date and
Okay.
obviously different number. So you will open the invoice, whatever whichever you want to duplicate, whichever you want to clone. The term used by Zoho is clone. So go to the invoice and clone it.
Okay.
This will clone it. Clone it. Satya, clone it. Click it. So except the invoice number, everything is same right now. It has updated the auto-generated new invoice number and the date, description, amount, everything is same. You can just make the minor changes.
Acha, this is in the case of same invoice, but for I mean to say some other like with same invoice, but with some other number, invoice number.
Minor where there are minor changes.
Acha, minor changes. Okay.
Okay. Now I want to tell you one more thing. Satya, go to the table, invoice table in the same and no, the same tab. Open an invoice. Open an invoice. Edit. Now go open a PL also in the tab. In any tab, open PL for the previous year or this year. Maybe you can choose this year and collapse all the. So Sravya, our main sources of revenue are ad spend,
Hmm.
campaign fee, performance fees, and retainer fees.
Hmm.
Now, whenever we choose the description,
Hmm.
we uh, uh, we have to choose the category of our revenue.
Okay.
Now, broadly, our revenue is divided into these four parts, right?
Yes.
Sales is sales. If you will not categorize any of the item description in the invoice in any of these four category, it will be transferred to sales.
Acha.
You see there is a header sales. So this sorry.
In the left side dashboard, you mean to say, or here there is no sales header? Where is it?
No, I'm
Acha,
yeah.
this one. Got it. Okay.
Okay. So if we do not categorize for the revenue voice amount in any of these four category, uh, it will remain unclassified in sales, where we
Okay.
will not where it will be tough for us to um, again go to the invoice and classify into the correct category.
Okay.
Now I will tell you how to classify this invoice correctly when we made an invoice. Now go to invoice, edit it, an invoice and edit it. When we write the description, below there is an option. No, Satya, click on the blue here. Right. No. Ah, Show additional information.
Acha.
Now here you have to, no, not select project. No. Sales. Here you have to choose the account.
Okay.
Now type retainer. Satya, type retainer fee. When you will choose this retainer fee, it will be classified as retainer. If you will choose the ad spend, choose ad spend because it is ad spend for June 2020. Choose ad spend. Ad spend income. Make sure you are choosing ad spend or the retainer from the income heads only.
Okay.
Ad spend under income heads. Right. Now save it.
So let's say if it is performance will also be there in it.
Now because it was unclassified, sorry.
Mhm. If we have to click on performance fee, it will be auto, it will be there and it will auto pop up if I type PERF or something.
Right. Because we have because we have already added that heads in the sales account. Now go to PL Satya. Now Sravya, see, we have sales of 15 lakh 26 sales unclassified sales of 15 lakh 26,000. Correct.
Hmm. Yes.
Now Satya, refresh this PL because that invoice that we just classified belongs to Adspend. Now 15 lakhs 26,000 will will be reduced and it will be classified to Adspend.
Acha, we have classified the invoice which is there in sales.
Right. We just classified it to see now. Early,
No, sir, actually, this is for the 20 to 23.
acha. Okay. This was for last previous year, stuff. Yeah. This was for previous year,
Okay.
and the invoice was for current year, so it does not reflected the change. Anyway, you got my point, right?
I got it. But like every time we create invoice, we have to tag them for sure, right?
Yes. Because if you want to get the correct reports,
Okay. This is for the general invoice creation.
general invoice, the process is this choosing the account process is
Same.
same for retainer and till now the process is still same for the general and retainer invoices. I'll tell you what is exactly the difference between the retainer and general invoice. Now till now everything is clear. You're with me?
Yeah, I just have three questions. One is
Yeah.
related to the billing address and details. Let's say I'm creating some new account and here I'm giving the billing address. Can I edit the information later? And if I edit it, can it be
Satya,
changed across the
Satya,
dashboard?
show the answer. Show the answer, please.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. You can edit it.
if I'm editing
Yeah.
here, it will be changed across the dashboard, right? Like whenever.
Now, no. So there is a difference. There is a difference. Now, click on the editing button. Click on the editing button. There are two options: either to add the billing address, one more address, and there is to edit the address. Now, edit the address, and there is an option if you want to update in the all the previous invoices.
Acha.
Now let's say you have made this. You have made some incorporated some changes in the billing address. Now scroll down, Satya. Here is an option to tick update address of this contact as well in the previous transactions.
Okay.
Unless you will tick on this transaction, unless you will this update in the previous transaction, no changes will be uh, incorporated in the previous invoices or the previous things whatever were done in this.
Acha.
Okay. Now, if you want to change the GST number, now show her the how to change the GST number. There is an option to change the GST number.
Okay.
Manage tax information, add new number or change number, delete number, whatever you want.
So if I'm clicking on add new number, then the older number will get updated.
So there are options whether you want to change, whether you want to completely change the number or you want to add the number.
How can I change the number? Like if I need to edit, sometimes the GST number will be wrong in our invoices. So if I need to edit that existing GST number,
Satya, please do that.
So you have to type the GST number here and save and select. If click on
acha,
that, then it will automatically get
You option
selected
to,
on.
yeah, so option to choose the correct one that you
correct
have
one.
added.
Okay, once I save it, a drop down will come.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Got it. So my next question is something related to GST. So for few cases, it is IGST, SGST, something, right? SGST and CGST. So that will automatically, I mean, the system will automatically take it based on the GST number, or we have to edit it every time. Let's say for Maharashtra, it is IGST, wherein for Hyderabad, it is SGST and CGST. So do I need to
Yeah,
mention it in the invoice, or
no, it will automatically fetch from the GST number.
acha, then it
Whether
will
it is
auto pop up IGST, whatever it is.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Sorry, you want to add anything?
No, no, this is okay. My last question is how to add CC. Let's say I'm asking you guys to put me and Mayank in CC or other client in CC. At that time, how to add in CC? Here, though, it is everything is in two only, na?
So the process is same, Satya, Sravya. When we showed you that to how to
Huh,
add or how to type in
huh.
the receiver of that email. So there were automatically two CC emails were coming in, right?
Mm-hmm. If I need to add anything extra, then I have to
You,
add
you
there
can
itself.
yes you can just type in or you can delete the existing ones,
Acha.
whatever you want.
Acha.
It
Okay,
will
I
work.
can edit in that option. Got it. That's it. These are my doubts so
Now
far
let's
in this.
no problem. So shall we move to the retainer ones?
Yeah,
The
recurring invoices, right?
the recurring ones.
Okay.
Right. Now let me tell you how the recurring invoices work.
Hmm.
Let's say I set up a system. Let's say I set up a system where where I have not asked Zoho, where I am not creating an invoice, but I am creating a system in
Hmm.
Zoho that will automatically create an invoice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us start creating a new recurring invoice with them. New, yeah. So let's say I put a customer name. First, I'll add the customer name. Satya, please take a call, please.
Uh, Satya, where you went? Acha, you have clicked on
Yeah.
recurring invoices. Okay, got it.
From the recurring, you have to select the recurring invoice option.
Hmm.
Uh, you have to select the new,
Okay.
and then you have to select the customer for which you
Hmm.
want to create the recurring invoice.
Hmm. Okay.
And you have to give a profile name. Suppose that is for retainer or GMB. It is for internal reference actually. Okay.
Hmm.
You have to give profile name, and then is there any PO number? Then you have to put this. And
So
here is the frequency.
profile name matlab client name you mean to say?
No, no, no. Actually, just like the retainer GMB or WhatsApp, anything else. But that is for your internal reference that you can trace the recurring invoice project. Okay. Just
Profile name is something for our internal reference.
yeah, yeah. And you have to put the PO number here, and here is the frequency that you want the recurring invoice every week or after 2 weeks or a month. Okay.
Okay.
And if you select the month, then you have to select the start date. That
Hmm.
means from 6th July. And if you want that the invoice will end August. Then you have to put the date 31st August. That is end on the 31st August. It will not be regenerate after 31st August. And if you select on never expire, then it will auto generate every month.
Okay.
And here it is. And here you have to type the again the item details. That means the description of the invoice, what will be, and the rate, that means the amount without GST, and it will auto generate the all the things. That means subtotal or GST amount, total, etc.
Okay. So, sir,
And you have, after that you have to click the save button.
okay, got it. So, Satya, like, how can I add SAC here? Can you show it to me?
No,
SAC
it
and
actually it is a project. Okay, it will not generate the invoice. It will generate the project. And
Acha.
if you select the date, that is, let's suppose 7th July.
Hmm.
So it will trigger the invoice 7th July as a draft mode. Okay, and you have to set the invoice manually from there.
Mhm. Okay, let's say we have set up some recurring invoice to some client today, then that will go to drafts, and again we
Yeah,
have to send that manually on that
yeah,
particular
yeah,
day. Sure.
yeah. From send email option. Okay, it will basically auto trigger the invoice.
But a manual check has to be done before sending it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got it. So where I can see that drafted invoice?
In the invoice tab,
Okay.
there it is appear as a draft. Here it is appear
It will
like,
it will come the same manner that general invoice was coming in the draft.
Okay, how can I find it as a draft? Like there will be any option?
Okay, so on the top it will be saying that it is a draft.
Acha, on the top it will
Instead of in the invoice status column, the invoice status column, it will be saying it is a draft. And even you
show.
can search the search option. Go to search option, Satya. The invoice status search draft,
Got it.
because there is no such option right now. So you can.
So I need to log
Okay,
in,
Sravya,
let's say,
shall I move ahead?
yeah, I got it. One last doubt. Let's say, suppose I need to send the draft invoice today, then my system will show that as a draft, I mean, reflect it as a draft for today, and I have to review it manually and click on the send button, the recurring invoice.
Right, right. That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. So,
Now, let's say what happened is Sravya gave me the final invoice sheet on 1st of June,
huh,
and which was already required to be sent on 1st of June.
huh,
But now, the Zoho has a procedure of creating the invoice
hmm,
on 1st of June itself. But the 1st of June has already lapsed.
huh,
So it will so is so it while I was setting the recurring invoice, I put the invoice creation date as 1st of every month. Now, because the 1st June has already lapsed, it will not create me the invoice. Now what I have to do for the June month, because it has not immediately created me the draft invoice, right?
yeah,
Now, what I will do is I'll go to that particular recurring invoice. Go
hmm,
to the recurring invoice, Satya. I'll open that particular recurring invoice,
hmm,
and then I'll click create invoice.
hmm,
Now the problem is the invoice that will be created will be of today's date, not 1st of July, not 1st of June.
okay,
So the challenge is, if we do not set up the recurring invoice before the recurring date that we have set up in the that we are going to set up in the recurring invoices. That means if we have not, let's say our invoice date is to be has to be 1st of every month.
hmm,
Now, if we do not set up the invoice by 30th or by 31st,
hmm,
it will not create the draft. You have to create the draft in that case manually from for each and every recurring invoice.
Okay. So 2 days prior, creation is required.
Yes, at least 2 days before it should be finalized.
Mhm. Okay.
Otherwise there are more chances of mistakes because it will be a manual interference and the system can no. Okay. So when you will be creating it, the date will be today's date, and you have to change the date also.
Okay. Got
Now, now, when you are creating uh, the recurring invoice, you want that invoice should reflect the month of the invoice in the description,
it.
and it should change automatically every month without
Huh.
manual interference.
Hmm.
What we have to do is, Satya, can you please take it? We have to add in the description this formula: monthly fees for the account manager for the month, percentage, whatever this formula is, and the year. So it will automatically in the description, the month and year will be of the date of the invoice.
Hmm.
Now there is a challenge.
Huh.
Let's say Sravya asks me
Hmm.
कि सागर हमें इनवॉइस चाहिए, वी नीड द इनवॉइस dated 1st of July
Okay.
for the month of July.
Hmm.
For the month of July, we need the invoice date should be 1st of July. Then there is no problem. It's smooth because the date of the invoice and the description will automatically pick the correct date. Now
Yeah.
Satya is asking me कि सागर 25 तारीख को ही इनवॉइस चला जाना चाहिए for the month of July.
अच्छा. हाँ.
In that case, जो 25 तारीख को जो इनवॉइस जनरेट होगा, 25 जून को जो इनवॉइस जनरेट होगा, उस केस में यहाँ पर Zoho will give month June 2000,
Yeah.
not July 2025. So in case a manual review will be required to change the draft invoice description from June to July.
Okay. This will occur only in the case of recurring invoices, right? Because we are applying the formula.
Right.
Okay.
And especially in the case where we have conflict of the
Date.
creation and the month. The month, yeah, got my point, right?
I got.
Next is um, what's next? What was our second thing? हाँ. Now, if you want Sravya ki हमें we want to change the recurring invoice. So there are options. Either to change that. Okay. Now okay. Can you open any of the recurring invoice? Then now under this project, this recurring invoice is a kind of recurring invoice project. You can call it as like this. Okay. Now whatever invoices are created by this recurring invoice setup, this particular recurring invoice setup will be displayed over here. You see the invoice date and amount and
Yes.
invoice number,
Yes. Yes.
and the next invoice. Go to the tab next invoice. Satyam,
Account manager.
beside overview, your next invoice of this particular recurring setup will look like this.
Will be.
The invoice number is not there because it will be automatically generated.
Yeah.
It is showing you an estimate, or it is showing you just a draft. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like this.
Got it.
Now, if you want to change but there are two options. There are two things. Whether you want a change in particular invoice that you set up it as recurring, or you want to complete the change to make a change in uh, from next cycle onwards.
Okay.
Means you want to change that the invoice that is automatically generated this particular invoice, or you want to change in the complete cycle now.
Huh.
Now, if you want to change a particular invoice, this the process of changing the invoice is the same as the general invoice. Okay, but if you want to change the complete cycle of the change in the complete cycle of the recurring invoice, you have to click the edit and do the changes whatever you want, and this will be implemented from next cycle onwards.
Okay, got it. So if suppose let's say that project has stopped and we don't want that invoice at all, so how to stop it from the
And
creation?
no, so you do not want the invoice, but the process is not the question is we do not want the invoice, but we want to stop the cycle. So in this case, we have an option to stop the cycle. Tick on any of them. The active ones are the ones for whom the invoice will be automatically generated on the set date.
Okay, okay. Suppose let's say this GMB invoice, I need to stop it for next month. Then I have to stop it on 2 days prior, right? So that it will not go into recurring.
I would suggest
Hmm.
what I do is that generally that once you tell me that Sagar इसका 1 जुलाई के बाद अब इनवॉइस नहीं बनेगा,
Hmm.
तो मैं क्या करूंगा, अब 1 जुलाई के बाद जब ये इनवॉइस बन गया उसके बाद मैं अभी स्टॉप कर दूंगा इसे, आई विल नॉट कीप इट पेंडिंग.
Hmm. Got it. So once we stop it, that
What
means the system will not trigger this invoice further.
right, and if you want to resume it, you can resume it.
Acha. Nice. Got it.
Okay, and for all the active invoices will be shown at the status active. Last invoices, it will be the date of the last invoice will be reflected, and the next invoice will be also reflected. uh, the
Okay.
the uh, the importance of next invoice date is, let's say you do not set up the invoice date as first. Let's say you put the invoice date as 25th, so it will reflect that when will the next invoice will be generated.
Huh.
It will be 25th, or it will be first, or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, and the amount representing over here
With the
is
GST.
excluding GST.
Acha.
Satya, please check it is excluding GST, including GST. This amount on the
Including
last column.
GST, I guess.
Including sir.
It's including.
Yeah,
Okay,
65,000.
okay, fine. Okay, okay.
Okay,
So
Sagarji, one more thing. Let's say, suppose three people have access to this account, me, Bala, and Anuj. So what if someone has done some mistake, and how I can check it? Like in Google Sheets, so we can see the version history. Where in Zoho, is there any such control where I can see the activities of
yes,
the
yes, we
people?
have. Yes, yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Okay.
Open any invoice, Satya. Comments and history. Comments and history. Comments and history. There it is.
Acha.
It will show when this was created, when this was emailed, when this was updated, when this was next updated. It will show everything.
Okay. We have to choose the invoice and we have to check it further. Got
And
it.
even you have a complete history of each and every entry that is made in Zoho. Let's say you can, if, you will not be booking the expenses, so it will not be good to
Mhm.
discuss here.
Okay, this is enough for me. Like invoice editing is
Yeah.
only one thing.
Now next thing is recording the payment.
Hmm.
Now let's say you receive the payment. Receiving a payment can be in two ways. Either you receive a single invoice payment, or you receive a bulk invoice payment. Uh, in case you receive a single invoice payment, just click on record payment. Amount received in 99% of the cases is full amount, but after deducting TDS, so you have to click on yes, TDS deducted. Choose the TDS. Choose the TDS account in our Zoho.
Uh,
Let's say if it is for money key.
how can I know the account? Acha, the same client name will be there in that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Zoho has a, little bit issue with searching the this particular TDS account, because in every drop down option
Such
there is
a.
an option to search,
Yeah.
but in TDS tax account, when there is a drop down option, there is no option to search.
Okay.
So this is a small drawback which I have reported to already to Zoho any year more than a year back, but they have not worked on it.
Okay.
So this is a little bit time taking.
No
So
problem.
you
No
can
problem. I
search
got it.
down the all
Satya,
the
you can
TDS
leave.
account,
I got it.
and if you do not found the TDS account, then
Mhm.
choose the TDS receivable, simple TDS receivable account. Satyam, can you show any of the TDS account that is simply is TDS receivable?
Without the client name, just TDS receive.
Right. You should scroll up. You should scroll up. No. TDS receivable. TDS receivable. No.
ఈ రోజు కొంచెం తేడాగా ఉంది
Little
కదా.
more. So most of them you will find it. We have over all of them. Okay, so
Ah,
it's not required to keep it unclassified. Okay, so you can choose the TDS, correct TDS account, and you put the TDS amount.
mhm.
Choose any of them right now, and put in the TDS amount.
Amount withheld is
So let's say TDS amount is 5,573 whatever it is, and the remaining amount, yeah, you can put any put any amount. Good.
so
Now
amount
scroll down.
withheld is TDS amount, Sagarji.
Yeah, it is TDS amount, right?
Okay.
Now we have to choose the payment mode, payment date, and payment deposit date. For payment mode, it's 99% of this 99, yeah, 100% of the multiplier is bank transfer. The
Hmm.
amount is remitted to Gachi Bauti account 1011.
Hmm.
You can write the reference number.
Hmm. Hmm.
In 99% of the cases, we write the reference number, and you can scroll down a little bit and record the payment. Now, Satya, go up. I think this amount receivable, the amount received will be now after TDS amount.
Hmm.
Okay, and if and bank charges comes in case of amount received in dollars when we receive a little bit less
Hmm.
amount.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, now this will be saved.
Okay. So email a thank you note for this payment means
You can you
it
can
will
send
go
an
as a
email.
report.
Thank you email
It
that we
will.
have received the payment.
Acha, it will go as a report. Okay, fine. Got it. Once I click on the record payment, then it will show as zero outstanding for that particular invoice.
Yeah. Okay, cancel it, Satya.
So Satya, earlier you have shown me this sales performance fee, retainer fee ka some table, right? Where can I see that? The summary.
Sales retainer summary.
You have shown me some collabs, something, right? This much is the retainer fee. We have raised some sales. That is there in reports. Okay. Once I click on the report, profit and loss. Okay. So Sagarji, if I click on profit and loss, then click on the profit and loss. Okay. So here collapse all bole to Satya, I can see what was the amount raised against each and every type of the invoice we have raised. That's it, right? The total amount. And let's say we have received few payments where I can see that payments received. I mean, what was the total outstanding and still how many are pending payments received. Okay. Um,
Services have been received and submit the invoices. There you can open yes, for this invoices are paid.
okay. So Satya, can I not have a table where I can see the summary of all these invoices? Like this much is the payment received for ad spend, and this is the total outstanding amount. Like that, we cannot see.
So sir, there is any classification of ad spend and all the thing. Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, what the discussion? Sorry.
We want that the also the classification, the payment against ad spend and
Sagarji, this is perfect. Like ad spend mein, this is the total we have raised so far, and this is the campaign fee we have raised so far and retainer so far. And for this financial year, this is the total amount we have raised so far. That's it, right? This tab is about. So if let's say in ad spend, I have to check
Right,
how
right.
much ad spend the amount is received from the client out of 13 lakhs 97,000 जो भी है, how much is the amount received so far and
So
how much
good.
is still pending.
So Satya, turn this PL report from accrual to cash. Collapse. Okay, okay. So you want to see कि हमने इस 13 lakhs में कितना receive कर लिया?
हाँ हाँ. So total ad spend में
In that case, you have to see the open balance. सत्या जो आपने अभी करा था ना उसे सही करा था उसे खोलना. No, no, not previous year. The current year. Out of 13 lakh, how much we have received? 13 lakh वाली figure किसके लिए थी? Open that. Open this 13 lakh now. In new tab, please here.
okay. Sagarji, I have another meeting. So this is
So
fine for today. We can, get back later on this continuation of the session.
yeah, so quickly this your open amount or your amount received will have to be tallied from the the payment report of this of the invoices.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So this portion, like I might need some time, I guess. I'll just we can connect at same time tomorrow on this downloading of the report because I have enough stuff today. So I'll just review it and I'll explain the team one more time. We'll try to understand the today's session and we'll try to do some changes from our end if possible and we'll get back to Satya if we need any help.
Okay, 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 sure.
Okay, sure. I'll document it and I'll save the recording for Anuj reference. Uh, ठीक है, invoice creation and recurring invoices and then addition, I got it. And also like updation of the payment received. That also I got it completely. Thanks for it. It is
Okay,
yeah.
and make sure whatever changes to especially for Bala,
Hmm.
whatever changes or whatever new invoices are created in Zoho, uh, make sure it is incorporated in Zoho as well as invoice sheet as well as the GST sheet if it is already created.
हाँ, ठीक है. Any new invoice, any new changes now, whatever we do, we'll intimate again Satya on that so that he'll check if it is correct or not. Post that, we'll update that in the
Correct,
invoice sheet,
correct, correct,
GST sheet also.
correct. You can connect us for review.
Sure, sure. Works.
Okay,
Yeah. Thank
okay,
you.
thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Satya. Yeah. Thank you,
Thanks.
Bala. Yeah.